Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Curiosity Corner Live. My name is Andy. I wear bow ties because bow ties are cool. Now, we're currently closed because we're excited to be part of the NFL draft this year, but we still want to bring you some great science content. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m., we will have episodes of Curiosity Corner Live through May 14th. And we'll be exploring the science behind football. Also, I want to give a huge thanks to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. There's their website, profootballhof.com. They're sharing their curriculum with us, and without them, these videos would not be possible. So thank you very much to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So today, we're talking some more about the physics behind football. Specifically, the path that a football takes when it's launched into the air one way or another. That path is called trajectory, and it's influenced by gravity. It's influenced by how the player has thrown or kicked the ball. And when an object is first launched, like a football, gravity accelerates it down, but it was accelerated up to begin with, so it follows a path called a parabola. It's sort of an arch shape. So let's look at that path in a little more depth. I have a video that I'm going to bring up that shows that path in a little more detail. So first, let me find that file and share it with you. I recorded myself expertly throwing a football in two different ways, and we're going to take a look at that. Here it is. So there it is. So there I am expertly throwing that football. Here it is again in slow motion. Whee! So you can see that path, kind of wide, went pretty far. Now here it is again. I throw it straight up. Boom. And here's the path again. So it went higher, but not as far. And then here is both paths together. High path falls short, and the wide path, the longer path, managed to go farther. So that's one way that a player can influence how a ball flies, is the angle that they're throwing it at. So I throw it at a low angle to make it go far. I throw it at a high angle to make it go short, and that's the difference. You can also change how much force you give the throw or kick, but you can also influence it with the angle. So if you're kicking it as hard as you can change the angle of that kick and make it go farther. That is one key in the physics of trajectory. So the best part is we can explore this, we can explain it using math. This is a physical law, the law of gravity influencing the football as it flies through the air. So there's some math that goes with that. Here is the formula for finding out how far a football can go when it's punted from the ground. So height of 0. Here it is. So that's v sub 0 squared times sine of 2 theta divided by g. Okay, yeah, that's a lot. So let's break that down. So v sub 0, v0, that is velocity that the football was kicked times itself. So v sub 0 right there, that is velocity of the football. In previous videos, I mentioned velocity is speed in a direction. So this is just the speed of the football in a direction times itself. That's what that up to, that little caret 2, that's what that means. So it's the velocity of the football times itself. This is sine. Sine is a calculation that we can do with angles. And that weird 0 O looking thing is theta. That means the angle that the football is being launched at. And 2 is the number 2. So we take the sine of 2 times the angle that the thing is launched at, whatever angle it is. If it's this angle, like 30 degrees, or if it's this angle, which is like 70 degrees, then we calculate that. And g is a constant. G is the acceleration due to gravity. So we can plug those numbers in. And let's say a ball was kicked at 20 meters per second or 44 miles an hour at an angle of 30 degrees. G is always the same. It's always 9.8 meters per second squared. So we can put those together. 20 times 20 is 400. 2 times 30 is 60. And the sine of 60 is about 8.66. So we can calculate those by plugging in those numbers. And we get this kind of formula. So there's that 400. That's 20 times 20, 8.66. That is 30 times 2. And then that's 60. And then that's the sine of 60 divided by 9.8. And we get 35.35 meters, which is about 114 feet. That is the distance that a football kicked at 20 meters per second at an angle of 30 degrees, that's how far it would go if it started from the ground. So let's do that calculation again using a higher angle. We're changing nothing, same ball, same speed, but let's do an angle change. So let's change it to 70. So 70 times 2 is 140. The sine of 140 is 0.64. You can use a calculator to calculate that. Using sine intuitively is very difficult, and I do not recommend it. It is wild, but calculators have that. So we can plug those numbers into the formula, and we get 400 times that 6.43, which is the sine of 140, divided by 9.8, and then we get 26.23, which is about 86 feet. So a higher angle gives us a shorter distance. For comparison, 30 degrees gave us 35 meters, and 70 degrees gave us 26. So how can we get this ball to go as far as possible without changing anything but the angle? There is a way. The reason why 70 degrees falls short and 30 degrees goes long, 30 degrees has a long horizontal speed, not much vertical speed. 70 has a lot of vertical speed, but not much horizontal speed. So if we get the butter zone right in the middle, if we get an angle right in the middle, then we can get a really far distance. The angle that's right in the middle is 45 degrees. 45 times 2 is 90, and guess what the sine of 90 is? It's 1. All these other numbers were less than 1. 0.64, 0.86, 1. So that means if we plug 1 into that formula, we get 400 times 1, which is 400, divided by 9.8, which is 40.8 meters or 134 feet. So that 45 degrees has a lot of vertical speed and a lot of horizontal speed. It's perfectly balanced, and it's able to give us that optimal angle to get the ball to go as far as possible. That's how powerful that 45 degrees is. And it's all based in that math of how that sine calculation works out. So a football player has to practice their kicks and their throws. If they want it to go as far as possible, they have to make sure that they're giving it a lot of force, but also to give it that perfect angle. If they want it to fall short and they can only give it so much energy, they could lob it a little higher and hang it in the air a little bit and give it a shorter distance. So football players, they can do these calculations intuitively to throw the football where they need it to go. So that is the mathematics behind those trajectories. So here's my challenge to you, is explore trajectories. See if you can calculate, see if you can use a calculator and figure out some of these angles and these distances, how far your favorite football player might be able to throw a football or be able to kick a football. And share anything you discover, everything you discover on social media with the hashtag StayCuriousCLE. And come back every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. until May 14th, and we will bring you something new all about the science behind football. So thank you very much. My name's Andy. Stay curious.